Innovative content. Global audience.
Yes, people. Oh, strange to see this face tonight. I know, guys. Listen, Daddy Chris has been very tired. I have been walking around the clock. It's not been very easy. So if you don't see me, but you'll be seeing some of my broadcasts coming all the way from Abuja, I think it's time for young people to take over because that's the only way. There's always a time for everything. So I think it's time for them to take over most of the things I do. But tonight is so special, it's so important that I decided I should talk about this myself. And the topic of this evening is tapping on your destiny. And I'm going to do a little bit of justice to that. But for those of you just joining me for the first time, my name is Daddy Chris, broadcasting from SRTV London, and I'm broadcasting right now to Rubu Television and SRTV YouTube at the same time, because I own those two platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, I over the past and in the next week, if you hear anything from me, it's going to be very similar to what you see behind me. It's called Nigerian Week. I know many people are very worried right now. What are we celebrating in Nigeria? No, there's a lot to celebrate. We have a lot of issues that we need to talk about. But I think the time will come for us to do all that and at the appropriate time. But I just think sometimes we blame ourselves too much, or we think we are failure. We're not total failures because no system in the world is perfect. And as I begin to research and begin to work on so many things, I found out that Nigeria is a blessed land. A lot of untapped opportunity. I don't know when we're going to do that. We keep talking about potential. It's time for us to be talking about our strength. And perhaps I will talk about a little bit of that tonight. And for old people like us that have seen the good old days, we know that when Nigeria was Nigeria, the kind of future we all have. And how do we go back to that? Tonight, we were having this difficult discussion as we have engaging with some of the ministry ladies here in London. And we were talking about where we are as a country. Perhaps I'll leave that one for the politics. But I would rather stick to one thing tonight. And one thing very simple issue tonight I want to stick to. And my topic tonight will be actually, for wherever you are better off. You are actually stronger tapping on your destiny. Because this is what I keep saying, and I don't know about you guys there. All you'll be hearing is, oh, Nigeria have a lot of potential. Is it true? Have you asked yourself, no, not the one they just speak English, other than, oh yeah, have you asked yourself to say, what are the potential they're talking about? And if you know some of them, have you tapped on it? And who said you cannot tap on it? These are the questions I ask. And I'm going to ask those of you at home and those of you in the diaspora to see how much you've really tapped on your destiny. Sometimes what I'm talking about tonight might be as easy, as small as running to Lagos, whereas your destiny or you have so much resources at home that would have made you a man, but you run away to Lagos. So people at home will definitely be better than you because they're at home. Nobody's telling them where are they going home. I like this new thing now where Lagos are telling people to go home. It might sound good now. A time will come, all this discussion will be open. And I always want to remind people what happened in the Bible. The time the children of Israel, the generation of children of Israel that came to Egypt, they were welcome. There was a home for them. But after some time, there was need to kick them out. And they were being maltreated. I want to go back to history as well. Hitler welcomed, Germany was a good host to the Jewish people at the point in time until Hitler came and said, hey, we can't be borrowing our money from these same people. They got to get out of here. And that was what led to all the evil things that happened in Egypt. I'm not going to go into in Germany. Right now, we are being welcomed in Europe, in America, because the system realized that. But what comes? I pray that it doesn't come to a time where we are asked to get out. If it happens, what we're going to do? Well, I'm not going to ask those questions tonight, but I just really want to be more critical or maybe more focused on one thing. And anything you see me talk about on my show, I'm always interested in the economic emancipation of people. I come here, I talk about slavery. My anger is economic emancipation. If you understand what is going on in Nigeria, I pray I don't spend too much time on that tonight. If you understand what is going on in Nigeria, we have only two sets of people. We don't have Muslims and Christians in Nigeria. We don't have outside Yoruba, Igbo, none of this rubbish in Nigeria. We have only two sets of people, the rich and the poor. There are only two people in Nigeria, the rich and the poor. And I'm going to ask you this simple question. Being a Muslim, being a Christian, is your pastor sincere with you? I know they are not. I'm not talking of Nigerian government now. Oh, when these people come and say, our problem are the Fulani people. For those of you in the Delta State, is Okowa sincere with you? Is your state governor sincere with you? Why are you talking about the Fulani man? Why are you not talking of your own? Oh, let me talk about this. Even your local government chairman, are they sincere with you? You see, before you can point your hand and say, that is my problem, well, okay, why you not solve the one I have with you first? Maybe it's difficult time to ask those difficult questions. Nobody wants to do that because that's why I don't have a lot of audience. I don't give a damn. I am here to deliver my message. When I finish, I'll get out. So let's look at it. I said there are only two sets of people in Nigeria, the rich and the poor. And when you go there, that's when you're ready to die. I know that. That's when you get blacklisted. I know that because you are now talking you're attacking the very people that have the power to do things around. If anybody have been watching my show, I talk about two kinds of power. Power. What is power? My guy, when you have money, gun listen to you. You see, gun is a weapon. If you tell somebody, shut up, if you want to rape a woman, put gun there, she will shut up, she will open her legs. But another easier way to rape a woman is to give her enough money. And the leg will be open. Sorry, ladies, I don't mean to insult. I'm just talking about the influence of power. With money, gun are kept quiet. Gun, so shut up, gun will shut up. You see, a man with a gun will say, run, he will run. Have you not been to Nigeria where the Nigerian policemen have been treated as slaves? They have gun in their hands, though. But they listen to a fool who doesn't know anything about gun. They say they are obeying authority. Authority? You stupid, man. But we'll come to that another day. What I'm trying to say, power is in that dimension. But I'm going to be careful not to offend too many people tonight. So I'm going to try to be very, very sensitive, very, very calm. Something, what's up? You know, for some reason, I couldn't even put out an invitation to you guys. The Nigeria Week is consuming me. I'll see if I can put a little bit of an advert out there. If you guys can join, that would be amazing. I wanted to have a big show with everybody tomorrow. I think that one will help a lot of us. But I'll see if I can send this out right now. So those who can join. But I usually want to do a very short video so that I can go and rest. Ladies and gentlemen, Daddy Chris is here, and the topic tonight is tapping on your destiny. And I'm going to look at it into what I have behind me, which is called Who is Coming to London? The event is called Nigeria Week. Now, what is Nigeria Week? It's an idea I conceived. Actually, it was African Week I wanted to do. And then there's need to actually look at Nigeria, our country. And Nigeria, my people say you have to clean your home first before you talk of the entire world. So let's just clean Nigeria. Nigeria is a country, as we all know, with a language, a lot of potential. That is the one that is annoying me. But it is true that Nigeria has potential, but you don't even know the potential Nigeria have because you've not taken your time to ask. You're not taking the time to look around. You look, you see, but you don't observe. You only see. You can see a lot of things in the world, but you don't take note of it. So if I ask you tonight, what are the potential of the Nigerian state? as it affects you. That's what we want to talk about. And you know my biggest challenge, and I'm saying this to those of you in Europe. I know you came to Europe, you studied, you graduate, you have a lot of things, you are earning a lot of money right now. But actually you're cutting short, one, on your destiny, the destiny of your children, and most importantly, you are shitting the country where you're staying. Because the country where you come from have so much to give to wherever you are. And I'm saying to you, because I'm a Nigerian, wherever you are in the world, there's so much you can get from Nigeria. And then you begin to speak to whoever you're talking to in wherever you find yourself, and on the point of equals, not as inferiors. That is very important. Because what you have in Nigeria is equal to power. The power comes from economy. You see, when you have something somebody wants, you can have a say on a big table. But if all you coming to do is, hey, give me a job, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, then you are a dependent. You are a liability. Most of us in Europe today, we are liabilities. For those of you that run away from your village to Lagos, to Abuja, you are a liability. Because perhaps you forgot that what you have in your village will be useful to people in Abuja. Have you thought of it? I'm talking to somebody. I know pastors will preach this and you will put a lot of money in the altar. That's what they do best. Because when that time for money reach, you see the band with the dance. If you see the way the pastors would they jump, you go to say, this man's a bit dance. He and the wife, then that money, they won't make it drop. When I know verse pastors, I'm not going to talk about you because somebody want me to say, don't talk about pastors tonight. So I know you're listening. I'm not talking about pastors tonight. Let me just focus why I'm here. I'll do it quickly and get out. But what I'm saying is, have you ever taken your time to ask, what are the potentials of the Nigerian state? To do a little bit of justice to this, I'm going to go back to the colonial time. You see, I'm going to start from slavery. The British, the Americans, they needed manpower, human being to work, right? Now, I just want you to understand that. They have people to work in their country, so they're looking for cheap labor. So that is why they came to us. All right. But what I'm saying is that, but they realized that black people, including Nigerians, have the physique to work. So they came and they took us as slaves. That is number one. I want you to understand this first. So one of the potential of the Nigerian state are the people who are very energetic to work because they were taken out and they did well and they are tall. That's why what they left with us. I know if I say this, I'll be blacklisted. I'll be said to be this. They left us with genetic garbage. People like us, small people. They don't carry the big ones come out. You know, see people from America, that the tall ones, huge. That's why they do 100 meters in America. You can't compete with them because they took the best. When I quote me, whether they talk, whether not true or not, is it not true? 100-meter race, not be America this year. Or they go Jamaica, not be the same thing. Same thing. Jamaica and America, not be the same thing. They can run. You see the Caribbean, because those were the people, the best of the genes were taken away from us. Hallelujah. When I know verse. Whoever I offend tonight, making a verse. What I just want to say is, one of the potential of the Nigerian state is the people. So the question I ask is, does even the Nigerian government realize that? That our biggest strength is the Nigerian people? That we have, and you know the funny thing, Nigerian youthful population alone is alarming. I mean, it's so encouraging that in the West here, at least go and take, as I drop on this statistics tonight, I didn't do those research to share with you, but go and find in the United Kingdom, the population of young people compared to the old, you know, they live long here, and that of us in Africa. You find that from the age of 18 to 40, they are the major. That's why during the obedient movement, They were going to win the election anyway, because those were they are more. So Nigeria would like to do that thing, and with bring children. And it's even the young people are going to be more, and we die on time because no good food, no good health system. So we die on time. So what it is we're having a very youthful population. And I ask you, Nigerian government, I'm going to be clinical in all I do tonight. Does the Nigerian government actually tap on the youthful population of the Nigerian people? The answer is a big no. And I'm confused. Do they tap on you yourself, that is a Nigerian? Have you tapped on the potential of the Nigerian people? The answer is no. Now, who did this to us? Is it our greed for oil? Is it oil money that caused us all this trouble? Otherwise, you cannot have a youthful population, which is one part I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go into the other one, and they said we have the best natural resources. If it is a lie, I beg. You think about it. But when you come to the youthful population that we have as a country, that we don't tap on, we don't use, and at the end of the day, they become a liability. They are not the one kidnapping us because they were not put to good use. And any reasonable government is actually mad to allow the young people who would have grown the Nigerian economy to become a liability to Nigeria. I don't understand it. And maybe I don't know what my former principal would say. I reason why I cannot tell how a government will allow the biggest strength, which is the youthful population, which every country is begging to have, to become a liability, to become a problem. No, maybe I'm the one that is confused. I'm confused here. I'm very confused, and that's my message tonight. One of the core messages. During slave trade, because white people, the British and the American, they saw that we have energetic young people, human beings who can work. They came and they took us away as slaves. Not because they hate us, they needed workforce. Now the one they've taken those ones. Now we have gotten another generation of young people. Have we been able to put them to work, to grow our own economy? Instead, these children are now taking themselves on self-slavery, trying to cross the same Mediterranean Sea where they took us and they threw a lot of us in the sea. We died. Now we are the one taking on the journey because of the action of our government, of the action on inaction. You see, I said I will hear and I'll not be angry tonight, and I will try not to. Does it make sense, my people? Does that make sense? Because that is the first thing I want. I'm talking of the potential of the Nigerian state, whether we have tapped on it. Thank you very much. Okoko Johnson, I'm loyal. Then let's move quickly further. Other than the Nigerian people, which is in particular youth, I'm coming back to this. Let's think of another thing. The second time the white people came to Africa, because I have to use them, not you, not what Nigerian government can see, because Nigerian government cannot see what we have. They only say Nigeria have potential. If I ask you, it will take time to even answer me. So I'm going to take my time to use other people that came to the same land where you saw nothing. With the land you are running away from, it has not changed. Oh, that land, the land has not changed. The same land, the British came and they saw a lot of potential. And they were actually producing things to sell to the rest of the world. Is it not the same Nigeria? No, maybe I'm confused here. First, they came, they saw human beings that can help them in their labor. They took us as slaves. They found out that is a bad practice. They stopped it. Now they calculated again and they used one word. Let us go and take our own share of the magnificent African cake. Two things happened there, my people. Under the magnificent African cake, the British, under the level, it was actually this BB company that went there to have interest in Africa. They went there to do business because they were doing business before the colonial time. They were doing business, and it's BB corporations. And it was unlike the company that actually sold us to the British to come and colonize us, and which is good. I don't see anything wrong with colonization as we speak now, because actually they've opened our eyes. The question is, do we take advantage of it? But let me make my point first. When those people came, they came to Africa to produce things in Africa to sell to the rest of which they took home. They were not selling it to us. The reason I know, if history served me correctly, let me use my case study where I come from. For those of you watching me, I'm from Saple area, so I'm from Delta State. And my village is a stone from Saple. We throw stone on the Saple. That's what we cross boat in those days. When you're there, I'm from Ogara. And what I found out, my people, is when the British came, they saw the Saple, they said, whoa, the Saple is actually have everything you are looking for on earth. The land is blessed. There is a water, transportation, everything were there. And you know what they did? They set up factories. And I'm going to use only one for so that you know. They did something. They opened a company called AT&P, which is the biggest plywood company in the whole of Africa. And they call it the African Plywood Company, AT&P. Timbers and so. My brother, the same place where they were able to tap on and produce plywood, which were supplying to the rest of the world. Have you been there today? Now we tell you why people are not good, we send them away. That's fine. But we were able to tap on our own potential. Oh, the same plywood is no more possible in Saple. All the companies, the Levantis, all the things the British people came to do. They came at a point in time, I know we were exporting cocoa. So all those ones are no more possible. Oh, no, I'm confused. Oh, is it oil that is the problem? Or it is no more possible to do these things and export it? You know why it is so sad? I know you guys are hearing it from me now a million times. And I'll say it again. Holland, Netherlands, they make over $20 billion from exportation of agricultural produce yearly. Over 20 billion US dollars from the exportation of agricultural produce. In fact, they will help us now. If they say, come to Holland now, we will jump. We will jump. I will go to Holland. But do you know that only Niger State is bigger than the whole of Holland? I'm not talking Nigeria. Only Niger State is bigger than the entire Holland. So meaning, if with the Nigerian young people, we now decide to cultivate only Niger State, we will make over 50 billion from agricultural produce alone. And the last time we said we are very smart people. I'm confused, my people. I'm confused. And maybe I need to share this message. He said we Nigeria will seriously need help to discover what we have to showcase to the world. Thank you, my brother. I'm giving an instance. So, man, I'm confused, man. When I look at the potential of the Nigerian state, a state, and you know the funniest thing, Niger State is about one of the poorest states. There we have people like stupid Babangida who think he's a very good man for raping us in the presence of this poverty. Niger State alone could have been the biggest or one of the richest states in Nigeria. Today, Niger State is the poorest, among the poorest, because all they do is they wait for her allocation to come from the federal government, only small oil money. Are we clever or we are stupid? I will talk. I came here in peace. I just wanted to talk something very sweet. Now I end up making trouble. Oh my God, what should I do now? I will stop this show because of that. Because anytime I come here happily trying to talk about the sweetness of the Nigerian state, I get into trouble. And the things that lead me into trouble are things like this. How can I see this and be quiet? What I want to do tonight is use the British and the Americans, the foreigners that came to our land. They were exporting cocoa. Now, let me tell you one other thing. Oh, you see, that is the thing of the past, right? Let me assume those were things of the past. So I'm going to quickly jump down into today Nigeria. And that is where I know this generation is a wasted one. Today, in my discussion, I said, we, especially those of us in diaspora, are the Joseph of our time. And I use that word a lot, and I use it to praise you guys. Supposing you have been, and I said to Americans, even those of them that are angry that Africa, they don't want to go back to Africa. And I remind them, when Joseph was sold, they sold Joseph, the same brother sold Joseph. But it's the same Joseph that helped them out. So that you were sold might be for a reason, for what God wants. It is time for you to help them now. You don't need to say, oh, because they sold you, you are no more part of them. It's still your blood. Whether you like it or not, the failure of Nigeria affects you wherever you are. Nigeria is the biggest black nation on earth. The failure of Nigeria, when you see people like Buhari who are dead, becoming president, you see it's a disgrace to you and the rest of the world. Because that is the image of the black man. Deal with it now. You cannot escape Nigeria. Now, we're going to come to that, so I don't insult people too much tonight, because people are going to be angry at me. Let me be sure that I'm not saying things, because when my phone begins to know that I'm offending people, because they are watching me now. They tell me not to talk again, that I should keep quiet, that the Christ will try to be quiet. All right, let me assume that I can be quiet for once. All right? All right, let me quickly, okay, I'm going to just quickly go and see if I can finish this topic in a very way. But let me come to the today Nigeria. Have you looked around you, my people? Okay. If I start with the talent, I'm going to use only two things, and I'm going to start from the negative down to the positive. Let's start with the negative. Today, every young boy in Nigeria gets into Yahoo. Now, it's not a good practice. But what I want to take from it is, meaning they were able to pick on their laptop and they're making money. They're actually, the only two people you see that have money in Nigeria are the politicians and the Yahoo boys. Sometimes we want to call it, what do you call them? That they use, Nigerians believe all kind of rubbish. That somebody just used juju and is getting money. If he didn't do that thing well, if he didn't write the right letter, somebody who didn't pay him the money, the juju will bring the money. Una sometimes believe that your mother can be used for money. All these things are rubbish. The same way you believe your pastor is going to give you one miracle money. Either the boys are actually kidnapping people or into crime, or they're actually doing these things. Before, nothing can happen in the spiritual, nothing will happen in physical. With only spiritual can't make it happen. It got to be physically done. What the spiritual will do is to make you do the right thing, and then good things will come. That you're going to see one thing that's going to be magic. Come on, Nigerians. That is the same way you guys go to church every bloody Sunday, deceiving yourself. Yeah, you keep on telling me that, oh, there are miracles. I keep telling you guys, all the pastors, this morning, somebody wake me up. I should join one prayer. The man was fighting. I said, oh, what? Now, God did they talk to? I've been somebody else. God is trying to go there. He's speaking to somebody. And I was confused. God, now God did they talk to? No, maybe it's me. I'm paranoid. Maybe I'm confused. The same God I talk to every day. And God talks to me. Neither man they shout. They play that drama for stage. Oh, somebody now, he just touched something, touch it there. You see the healing coming. Who not get? How many people get belly stomach problem? All of you that want to get pregnant today, in Jesus' name, you are sick. I ask only one question. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this. Of all the miracles they've been performing in Nigeria, which blind man do you know that can now see? Mona no vessel. Or which cripple una know from bed that can now walk? Of all the bloody miracles, I bet una not let me talk. That's not my topic tonight. What I want to say is, the young people in Nigeria got potentials. They use it into Yahoo, and they're making money. For those of you who are so stupid, you will say it's juju or Yahoo Plus, any way you call it. Yahoo Plus, why you not do Yahoo Plus? Make the money just fall for your hand. See, for you to do Yahoo successfully, you're going to learn how to use the computer, you're going to send emails and things will come to you. No other way. You can't sit at home and Yahoo Plus begin to work for you. But what I'm trying to say is, it means these young people got potential and they tap into that. What you don't see in Nigerian government is meaning these young people got a potential. They are not useless. So if you had given them laptops for good things, maybe for customer, for promotion, like we see there here in the UK. Like I give always instance every day, that if the Nigerian young people are now engaged to earn ₦1 million for marketing purposes, which is what we need here in the UK. In customer service alone in the United Kingdom, which is just laptop and maybe a little bit of phone call, you earn that amount of money. Even if you take that job to Nigeria for 500,000 naira, I'm sure Nigerians will jump at it. As the Nigerian government or the Nigerian people, those of you in Europe, also tap on that potential and bring this kind of customer service job back to Nigeria, that is where I ask, have you tapped on your destiny? The reason I know this is when I make my phone call, I talk on Talk, and I call customer service. You know, the people that talk to me, they are in India. Some of them are in South Africa. They will answer my questions. All they do is they look at the lab, they look at the information with them, and they answer it. You can look at my account and tell me what it is. Oh, the reason you are telling is because you have not paid this and that. It's rubbish. Customer services. Do we have it in Nigeria? Even if you don't have, if you couldn't create a job there, have you tapped on that, exporting that potential, which Oyibo would have come and take them away? You see what I'm, God. Okay, let me talk one quick one now. Nigerian government, of a sudden, said doctors are not allowed to leave the country because we're going to have brain drain. And I say that is the most stupid thing I've ever heard. If it is true that doctors are now good markets outside the country, why don't you copy what Dijala, one of the governorship aspirants in my state, said? That he's going to turn all the dead general hospital to teaching hospitals. Nigeria, listen to me. This is what the young man said. That he's going to turn all the dead general hospitals in Nigeria to teaching hospitals. To what? To produce medical doctors for export. Do you hear that? Now, Nigerian doctors are doing well outside. They have a job for them outside. If you are a wise government, why don't you train them and sell them to the white people? Must they come and take them as slaves? You cannot negotiate with the country and say, listen, we can offer you medical services. And these are the kind of medical doctors we have. They can offer you these services. They can take them there for some years and they come back. You begin to sign. Can you trade Nigeria? Other than banning those who want to leave. What stops you from using all the resources you have to train medical doctors if you now need medical doctors for sale? Have we thought of that? Rather than blocking them, I didn't want to even respond. I didn't come on my newspaper review with my people in Abuja. Because the reason why I cannot tell why I would tell a doctor not to travel, I will start to produce doctors since they are needed elsewhere. I will produce and export. Do you think it's only Gary you export? You can export talents. Human beings, Nigerians. I won't be able to talk about why I'm here tonight, but I'm going to quickly move on. I'm talking about young people now. Oh, God. Now, this is the one that interests me mostly. I'll talk about the three big industries today. Let's start with number one. Afrobeat. Number one, Afrobeat. Afrobeats in Nigeria. Ew! Do you know that of all the success behind Afrobeat in Nigeria, it has nothing to do with the Nigerian government? That the Nigerian government is actually not tapping on that destiny, that opportunity these kids have created. Nigerian government is not even aware. It doesn't concern them. I don't understand where we're coming from. How can Nigeria not tap on Afrobeat? Now you have this set of musicians and everybody today, you can imagine that if you had given the opportunity for young Nigerians to sing, Afrobeat will explode. There are some that cannot even afford to make their own music now. The effort, the success of Afrobeat in Nigeria have nothing to do with Nigerian state. But look at the success. Today, I couldn't afford Burna Boy to come and perform in my event in London. It's too expensive for me. Who grew these boys? Have you asked yourself that question? For those of you in diaspora, are you not a disgrace or for yourself to your generation. If somebody else, a white boy, will go and take Burna Boy to come and perform in Europe and make money on top of Burna Boy, you are sleeping. Oh, you are now, you too open eye now. You can speak good English. I know most of you here in UK. When they start to speak English now, they even worse than the kids. They've been here, they are lost. They have no home. Hunger. You see, that you are in Europe, if you see their coat, you know, they say when you stay this London rich, the coat could smell. You are wasted and you still open your mouth to talk. Now I ask you a question. I ask you one thing. Davido came to O2 and saw the place out. You guys need to pay me. The place was sold out. Who brought Davido to London? Somebody brought Davido to London and they closed the place down. They made a lot of money. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, the industry that the young people produce themselves, created by themselves, without government intervention, today can bring in millions to the Nigerian state. There's nowhere. You know, in fact, I said it. I was dancing. I was in a restaurant here in Edmonton. We're eating. I was with 3 guys, and they played Oliver Twist. Jesus, I got up and I was dancing. They didn't know what my joy. They never play our music in their radio before. Thank God to the internet. But the most important thing is Nigerian music have breakthrough. What is the bloody government of Nigeria doing about it? Lai Mohammed, you are a big disgrace. I know I work with your Baba, we get issues. Thank God this government is going. You're dead. No, what I don't understand is now, all I always say, I always ask, has the government taken advantage of it? Is the Nigerian government even aware that now we have young people who can be turned into musicians that can actually turn the world around? If that is it, even if you don't come into this business directly, what are you doing to encourage these young people or to even encourage more to do what they can do? Because you can see the talent is raw in them. They are young. They can dance, they can beat. You know, I'm organizing this Nigeria week. I'll come to that. If I tell you the number of young people who want to come and perform at the event, you will be happy, man. The government of Nigeria knew nothing about how these kids came about. They knew nothing about how they managed to make their music. I don't even know how God managed to help these young people to create a wonderful music industry. In those days, it's only Michael Jackson that can come here and perform in a football stadium. Today, in the month of June, after my event, Wizkid is going to perform. Only Wizkid, though, not 10 of them. Is performing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A young Nigerian boy who has on a good day for day streets, maybe not for those shooter, send a criminal. God has put him in this track. He's coming to close down the whole of United Kingdom. Is that not a destiny? It's not a resources. Is that not an opportunity we need to tap into? If the Nigerian government is not even doing it now, this is where I have problem. Mona no verse. You that call yourself a Nigerian in Europe, that all you do, Mona no verse, I will talk. All you do is to go to work on Monday to Friday. They pay you 2,000 pounds, 1,000 something pounds, and you are happy. You go marry, sit down like a fool. You can make some money by just bringing one Nigerian artist to Europe. The money you are looking for in your life, the money you will never earn, probably make it. One trip. Because I know what Davido did. The question I ask you, if Nigerian government is not doing it, are you doing it? I'm asking on tapping on our resources or tapping on our destiny. That is what I say. So if I talk about it, don't be offended. Okay. I will not be able to talk about the show tonight, so I'm just going to do let me just analyze the other two and stop. Number 2. Nollywood. Let me repeat it. Nollywood. Kai. In those days, with the carry share, when we're young, go watch cinema, Chinese movie, Bruce Lee, they go cut person into two. The whole village. The time they will bring the film, for you to enter there and watch the film, you carry one share. So your share is because I make my own share. When you bring the share for people to sit down, they go let you enter free. When you close, you carry your share for head, go home. Oh, children. But thank God, a set of people in Nigeria took their destiny into their hands and they produced the first film, which is called Living in Bondage. Today, this is a few years ago. Today, when you count the number of celebrities that have come out of Nollywood, that thing that turned out like play, you will be amazed. You will be more than amazed. Again, I ask one question. Maybe let me put this in perspective. If you underrate the power of movies, Hollywood, which is the American film industry, generate 1/4 of American economy. 1/4 of the biggest economy in the world come from their making money they make from movies. The only reason you speak Americans, even you are in Nigeria, fuck you, this, that, is so you didn't hear it from anywhere, from American movies. They've been able to do one thing right. They use it to buy all the language you cannot speak American, whether you like it or not. It's not me that is making you to speak it, it's the movie you're watching. You see somebody, yeah man, you did Germany, they speak German for Germany, they speak German for Germany. Now German they speak there. But the only reason you're speaking like that is the American film you're watching. One of those is my guy. I'm not insulting anybody tonight. But I wish people can think. So what Hollywood have done for America, they sold American culture, you will know the American celebrities, and now they made 1/4. They've contributed enormously to the American economy. Nollywood has not done otherwise. They actually done better. America have all the support. They created something. I don't know who gave Nigerians the wisdom, because America, for you to know, let me give you a list. I'm a student of I study films at a very high level here. If you go to the history of the Hollywood, the talent that went to Hollywood to build Hollywood, they are actually Europeans. But what Hollywood did, what American did, was they were able to use the studio system to sign actors. So there was job opportunities. Rather than waiting for government in the UK, before you make a film, you wait for the British Film Institute to give you money so you go and make a film. The same thing all around Europe. America was not like that. Studio men, most of them were drug money. They were able to create big studios, sign some big actors, and begin to turn out movies. The talents in Europe, they run to America. They have to build that place. Today, Europe is a dry land when it comes to filmmaking. America is the highest filmmaking body in the world. Selling the culture of the American people, selling the brand America, and making money for the country. Nollywood, from nowhere, out of no government support, they sold the Nigerian brand. In those days, when they look at us, they thought we live in trees. But at least Nollywood shows that there's some places in Nigeria you cannot talk anyhow. That we can talk, we can behave. It's just that sometimes we have to speak the American English that we are supposed to be speaking our own and sell our own pidgin English to the rest of the world. Instead, we're speaking the same American English. Who said that is the standard? Why don't we use our own language to sell our own language? And they now learn our language. Or in the process, people begin to speak our language. Suppose we pick pidgin English as our language, and then we make film in pidgin English. Then people will now learn to speak those languages. Before you know, they'll say, "Mavo, come here, man." You know, but what do they do? All those ones will become something the whole world will begin to speak. But because of our low mentality, oh God. Anyway, I won't go into the political side of it, but let's look at the economic side of it. Nollywood has brought in a lot of resources, income to Nigerian state. I asked the people again, the Nigerian government is doing nothing about it. I repeat that. I'm going to come back on that topic tomorrow. Nigerian government is doing nothing about it. I'm going to take this. Thank you, dear. Nigerian government is doing nothing about it. The bloody Nigerian government is doing nothing about it. You are doing nothing about it. And you are in Europe. All you can say in Europe is, oh, I'm looking for a job in Europe. But you have a country that have this big opportunity. In fact, you are a rape to the country you find yourself. Because what Nigeria have is what you can give to them here, and you will be important. Before I go to the third one, I'm going to tell you what I did in those days in Europe. I stayed in Belgium for 1.5 years, and I went back to Nigeria. And my intention was, no, I'm never going to stay here. I was going to go there. Then car was a good thing. Because then, in a day, over 500 Nigerians were coming down in Brussels to buy cars. So we called them the Belgian cars. So we used to buy this car and said, that was how I made my money. So I went back to Nigeria, and I was taking cars to go and sell in Nigeria. The cars was not so good. Before I changed my money, the dollar was always changing. I now find out I'm losing. Even I'm making profit in Naira, I'm losing in the dollars. So I said, no. I brought in spare parts. It's the same thing. You know what? One, I had no knowledge of what I'm doing. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know anything about cars, and I don't know a lot. So at a point in time, I said, okay, you know what? My white boys, I work with a couple of these white boys from Belgium, and they said to me that, Chris, why don't we think of something that we can bring from Africa and sell in Europe? You know one funny thing, and I'm going to say that to you tonight. You bloody fool looking at me. Some of you are fools. Let me ask this. You know what we did? We went to Benin. The guy we met said one thing they can think of is wood. W-O-O-D, wood. I said, what is wood? He said, he showed me the window frame they were using there. That wood, one of them is called yellow apple. It's in Benin. That's where we found it. It's everywhere in Nigeria, but that yellow apple is in Benin. So we now went to Benin. Two of them followed me. Two of the white boys followed me. We went to Nigeria because I was already doing business with them. So we saw this wood, and they sawed it into the particular size they want. It was nothing special. It was the same sawmill that we have in that part of Benin that I used to saw it. And I arranged them in the name of furniture component, and I will export them. A cubic meter was $1,000. That was the only time I began to enjoy my international trade. Rather than taking what I was going to sell at home, I was able to bring something from Nigeria and sell to them. You know the funniest thing? When I come down, then it's not this time now that you have one Schengen visa. The only visa I had was German visa. These guys, because of my importance, they'll come and pick me in Germany. They'll drive me into Benelux. Because what they wanted was, I am an asset. I'm bringing in money. They will they'll buy my wood, they will host me well. They want me to go and bring more wood. I was more important than when I was staying in Belgium with them. They're like, whoa, when are you bringing the next wood? Because I have something that I'm putting on the table. It's coming from my country. Have you tapped on your destiny? You, those of you here now, looking at me in England. Don't you use wood? Wood. You know where they sell wood? In Edmonton here, I know where they sell plenty wood. Have you ever occurred to you that I can actually bring wood from home and sell to these people? But you go and buy the wood to do your work here. You are a disgrace. The same way Nigerian government is, you are the same disgrace. It's not only Nigerian government, because Nigerian government is not doing it, and you are not doing it. What's the difference? Kashna ras this up. Peace kamatana. I just speak a Slovenian language. Those of you that understand will know what I'm saying. My people, I'm not here to insult anybody, but when it gets to this stage, I get confused. I'm going to read the comment from this, from Okpako Johnson. Okpako Johnson said, all Nigerian politicians are criminals, and all Nigerians want the criminals to come from their family and their tribe. That's true. So forget Nigeria and talk about a better things. I agree with you there. Unfortunately, not only Nigerian government is actually guilty, not only the politicians are guilty, I'm blaming you and I now. Because those of us in Europe, we're not even looking at our potential. We want to remain slaves. And I always say to people, sorry, I don't say it's not a wrong thing to work. I've never seen a rich man. I never somebody that become rich because he's working. At a point in time, you get to go into your own. You're going to think outside the box. If you want to be employed always, you're going to remain an employee all the rest of your life. And you will end up as a pensioner. You're going to end up in the home poor. That's your destiny. You choose it. But if you look outside the box, you could have tapped on the destiny, because the good thing is any Nigerians not supposed to be poor because they have a home where a lot of things are happening. I'm not talking of music now, which you can bring to come and make money in Europe. I'm talking about wood. I can count them. I will talk about all these opportunities tomorrow more. Okay. I'm just going to be able to pick calls now. See, my people, it's a problem. Big time problem. And I won't be taking calls tonight because I didn't plan to be here for up to an hour. It's almost an hour now. So I'm going to just try and round up the show shortly, because 1 hour is enough for this broadcast. Tomorrow I'll be here. I've been running around for the Nigerian week all day, and I deserve my health needs some help. Okay. Let me talk of the final one, which I'm going to talk. Not that I'm not going to talk a lot, but I'm going to talk on the last one. Number 3, fashion. In those days, you know what we call them? They are called tailors. You know, any politician that want to keep people in poverty, you know what they will do? They will go and send them to go and do tailoring. But thank God, that thing they did just to throw us out is now becoming an opportunity. Nigeria actually make more money from fashion than music and film put together. Quote me. Nigeria make more money from fashion than film and music put together. You that is living in Europe, have you tapped on it? Look at me. You be fool. I'm not blaming Nigerian government because those ones are dead, so they don't exist. But even you that is living in Europe, other than going to that work 24 hours, are you not a mayor to live in a land where you can do so much? Let me ask you this. My people, something happened to me. It was in 2022. 21, 22. I came to Nigeria. I want to go to Nigeria, and I just wanted to do something to make money. So I saw where they do some clearance. I went to Waste and I bought this set of clothes. They were cheap. I have one inside because it was on clearance. So I sent them to Nigeria. You know what I found out? Those things actually were imported into Waste from Sri Lanka. So those clothes were produced in Sri Lanka. I ended up taking what is produced in Sri Lanka from Waste to Nigeria to sell. And I was saying to myself, what kind of madness is this? Most of you won't even bother what I'm talking about now, but this is how I think. And you know what's so funny? Now that I came back to England the next 2 months, and I walk into Primark. I look at the quality of things they said there. And I said to myself, oh my God, why don't we have Nigerian clothes there for this summer? Now listen to me, fool. That's how my brain works. Why don't we have Nigerian clothes there? And you know what would have been good if Nigerian government ever exists? There would have been nothing wrong engaging those people who have said to have no job into producing clothes that we could have sold to Primark or even have our own shop. I have said one thing, it's long overdue for us to have what we call the Afro Mat in Europe and America. I call it the way they came to Africa to take the magnificent African cake. We should now come to Europe and take our share of the magnificent European cake. But our leaders are so stupid. So stupid. And this generation of ours are blind. All they wait. Oh, African leader is coming. You know the funniest thing? Do you know it's only Europeans that still clap for people in Africa? We are here. We know because the Nigerian politician coming have a big bag of money. you lose your conscience too, and you still run along with him. I see when the election is going on. I see the Edo people, what they happened during Obaseki and this thing, and I was wondering myself, and I was ashamed. And I saw what happened now in this last election, how people in Europe were supporting my own tribe, were supporting Omagega and this, and I said to myself, are you supporting them for real, or the appointment you're looking for? You disgrace. Big time. Because these guys are mad, they are fools. You know that, but you're running after them anyway. Mortgaging the destiny. In fact, you refuse to be the Moses of our time. Whereas, you would have been making a fortune if actually then the government of Nigeria refused. Supposing you now think of how to bring Nigerian clothes and sell it to one of the shops here. Who said you cannot do it? I need to pack my bag and leave this show now. Who said you cannot bring a clothes from Nigeria and sell to a shop here? Primark, the quality of clothes, they are better than the ones we're using in Nigeria. Go, now we have some really good machines and the labor is there, cheap than you can ever imagine. The same way the European came and they took us as slaves. You have slaves in Nigeria because they don't pay them well. So why don't you use the slave and at least use the Nigerian slave, because that's what the Nigerian government has decided to do. Use our people as slaves because we don't pay them well. That would have been an issue that I don't want to talk about tonight. I don't want to talk about the wages again. It's going to, in fact, when I talk of wages, the labor man, Nigerian Labour Congress, the day I'll see you, what I'll do to you will not believe me. That a country that pay people 40,000 naira is sickening. Pay people 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira in this Nigerian state. Do you ask yourself how much they pay elsewhere? The only reason we are flying to Europe, running to Europe, is wages, so nothing else. The reason the children are risking their life to come to Europe is wages. If Nigeria were paying well. And you know the funniest thing, we, the Moses of our time, the Joseph of our time, even refuse to help. Because if you have gone home and say, okay, now I am here in Europe where I can see this and I want to bring this in and say here, then you have the job at home. You've created a job or you created a customer service and these people are not getting employed. At the end of the day, they will not be, those people will not be kidnapping you. At least 3 months have been off the street. 20 will be off the street. If we all, now that we have a foolish government of our time, what about you? I'm going to end the show there tonight. When I come back tomorrow, I thought I'm going to talk about the London week. I probably cannot do that tonight because I'm very tired. And this is that the crisis doesn't give a damn. And that's the problem. I don't give a damn. If you watch my show, you got to be strong enough to be able to stand most of the things that will come out of my mouth. I am disappointed in the Nigerians in diaspora, most especially. Forget Nigerian government. We don't have a government in the first place. It's not because they don't want to. They don't even understand it. So how can somebody who is already a victim be going to help you? Nigeria the problem of the Nigerian state, I said it's only 2. I fixed Nigerian problem in a day. One day. If I become Nigerian president, only one day. Everybody will begin to sit up. If you cannot pay the man, his salary is 500,000 naira. If you cannot pay him, no problem. Don't pay, I'll pay him, I'll give him food. Go and do your job alone. If you pay anybody below 500,000 naira, you're going to jail. It's not as if 500 pounds is a lot of money, but I will start from there. You will not build 2 million houses. You will not have a driver. I say it again and again. I just spoke to the ministry just now, and I answered, since you've been in this country, have you seen anybody with a personal driver? Since you have been in Europe, you are pa. Since you did this Europe, you get driver. It's not because you don't want to, but because you cannot afford it. What's wrong with us, man? It's only in Nigeria you see slave traders. Somebody with a big fat stomach. Somebody is driving him home. Policeman is guiding him. Can you imagine? Who are you, a god, to say that the British police will be guiding you? Who are you? We are not civilized. Oh. Those of you that claim that you are this and that, you are bloody foolish. And I can stand here and say it again and again. I have not seen anybody with a driver in the United Kingdom. In Nigeria, you have gate men. Because they are slaves. And the Nigerian police, with that beautiful uniform called Nigerian police, the man, 6 of them will park. Okay, they come, you see how they run. The man with a gun is running to protect a man that is raping his wife. The same way you guys go to church on Sunday. I know if you talk of pastor, oh, men are not converse. Hey, Nigeria. I rest my case tonight. My name is Daddy Chris, and this is SRTV. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, and hopefully we can talk about this show, which I'm about to do. I don't have time because sometimes when I start here, I want to start very peacefully. So I'm going to bring in guests tomorrow so that I won't be talking like this, because when I talk like this, I get angry. Because it hurts. All Nigerians understand is politics. Oh, they are corrupt politicians. Some of these people are not just corrupt. They lack the understanding. You can't give what you don't have. I listened to the manifestos of all of them, and I was just crying for the country. None of them could identify. Only Peter was coming near. That's why Peter can never be president. When he tried to talk about that he's going to cut down government waste. Only government waste too. That's what Peter talked about. Me, I will talk about the gap between the rich and the poor. Fear not, let Peter talk, go there. They stop him. So for someone like me, we never even there, they will just kill me. Because the problem of the Nigerian state is the unacceptable gap between the rich and the poor. You see, it is in your interest if everybody is well paid. There's not even distribution of wealth. A little bit of it, there will be the rich and the poor still. But then there's a little bit of even, there will be less crime. You see, when you give money into the pocket of the poor man, you know, the average Nigerian man will take care of a certain family. Meaning he can send children to school. Those children will no more come and kidnap you tomorrow. It's not a win-win for everybody. That somebody is well paid. And you know the funniest thing, then the rich man, he can sleep well. The rich man, you're telling him to pay well, because so that he can sleep well. It is in his favor. That if you pay the man 20,000 naira and you think he's not going to kidnap you and your children, why are you building these high fences? It's only in Nigeria you see that on civilized level of fence. You can't see it anywhere in the world. And why are you right? You tell me you want money. Now you're guiding yourself. You are putting yourself in your own prison. You guys will need to wake up. Listen, my name is Daddy Chris, like I said. Those of you don't like me, I don't need your likeness. But I'm really sorry if I've offended anybody tonight. That's what I do. I offend people. It's not my intention to do so. I'm going to end the show there tonight. I'll be here tomorrow when I'll be stronger to actually talk about the program I have ahead for Nigerians. It's called Nigerian Week. We're celebrating here in London. If I start with that, then we won't close tonight. I don't have the strength to do that. If you don't know, please go to our website, www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigerian-week. www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigeria-week. My name is Daddy Chris. And the show tonight is supposed to be Who is Coming to London. But I ended up talking about something else. God bless you. Stay out of trouble. Good night.
SRTV. Innovative content. Global audience.